Hello everybody, I'm Miguel Sanchez, and welcome to episode 30 of Movie History Walt Disney Animation Studios. Yay! We're halfway through the show, my friends. Only halfway through, my friends. But, however, Disney has announced a new movie. That's right, their 61st movie, Strange World. That's right, my friends. You know what that means. We have to include that into the series. So be on the look for episode 61 coming in the near future. Hopefully, this should be pretty good. I thought so too. But yeah, it's today, my friends. We're bringing another movie history series. This time, movie history, DreamWorks Animation premieres today. Right after we're done with this one. So get ready for 2 movie history videos in one day. It's gonna be so exciting, I can't even stand it. Alright, so if you're ready for it, then let's get started. Here we go. For today's episode 30, we're looking at Beauty and the Beast. That's right, the most beautiful love story ever told. That's right, it's the most beautiful love story ever told. And we're about to get into it today. One of the most iconic films from in the Disney Renaissance. We're gonna get into it today. And if you haven't seen episode 29, we started the new year with the first episode of 2022. It was on New Year's Day. That's right, The Rescuers Down Under. So you haven't seen it yet, watching out the link to it is up there at the top recording screen. So you haven't seen it yet, what are you waiting for? Give it a watch, see it for yourself. It's definitely worth the wait. So yeah, without further ado, let's begin. So about the movie. Beauty and the Beast is a 1991 American animated musical romantic fantasy film produced by Walt Disney Feature Animation, released by Walt Disney Pictures, produced by Don Hahn, and directed by Gary Chosdale and Kirk Wise. The 30th Disney animated feature film and the third release during the Disney Renaissance period is based on the 1756 French fairy tale of the same name by Jean-Marie Le Prince de Beaumont, who was only credited in the French dub. I know. Love. And ideas from the 1946 French film of the same name, directed by John Cocteau. Beauty and the Beast focuses on the relationship between the Beast, voiced by Robbie Benson, a prince who is magically transformed into a monster, and his servants into household objects as punishment for his arrogance, and Belle, voiced by Paige O'Hara, a young woman whom he imprisons in his castle. To break the curse, Beast must learn to love Belle and earn her love in return from before the last petal falls from an enchanted rose, or else the Beast will remain a monster forever. The film also features the voices of Richard White, Jerry Orbach, David Augustine, and Angela Lansbury. Walt Disney first attempted to adapt Beauty and the Beast into an animated film during the 1930s and 1950s, but was unsuccessful. Following the successes of The Little Mermaid in 1989, which I already talked about on episode 28, Walt Disney Pictures decided to adapt the fairy tale, which Richard Purdom originally conceived as a non-musical. Disney chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg eventually dismissed Purdom's idea and ordered that the film be a musical similar to The Little Mermaid by Linda Woolverton, and the story was supervised by Roger Allers. Lyricist Howard Ashman and composer Alan Menken wrote the film's songs. Ashman, who additionally served as the film's executive producer, died of AIDS-related complications 6 months before the film's release. And the film is thus dedicated to his memory. Beauty and the Beast premiered as an unfinished film at the El Capitan at the New York Film Festival on September 29, 1991, followed by a theatrical release as a completed film at the El Capitan Theater on November 13th. On November 13th of that same year. I know. The film grossed $331 million at the box office worldwide on a $25 million budget and received widespread critical acclaim for its romantic narrative, animation, particularly the ballroom scene, characters, and musical numbers. Beauty and the Beast won the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, the first animated film to ever win in that category. It also became the first film to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture at the 64th Academy Awards, where it won the Academy Award for Best Original Score and Best Original Song for its title song, and received additional nominations for Best Original Song and Best Sound. Oh boy. Unfortunately, that title lost to the Silence of the Lambs. So yeah, and Best Sound lost out to... And the sound category lost out to Terminator 2 Judgment Day, so... Yeah, I know. In November 1984, Beauty and the Beast became Disney's first animated film to be adapted into a Broadway musical, which ran until 2007. An IMAX version of the film was released in 2002, including Human Again, a new 5-minute musical sequence that had never been cut from the film prior to its release, but was included in the 1984 musical. That same year, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. After the success of the 3D re-release of The Lion King, the film was reissued in 3D in 2012. and a live-action adaptation of the film, directed by Bill Condon, was released on March 17, 2017. Here we go, guys. This is going to be a big one. Ugh. The movie stats are as follows. Directed by Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise. Screenplay by Linda Wolverton. Story by Brandon Chapman, Chris Sanders, Bernie Matheson, Kevin Harkey, Brian Pimentel, Bruce Woodside, Joe Ranft, Tom Ellery, Kelly Asbury, and Robert Lenz, and based on Beauty and the Beast by Jean-Marie Leponce de Beaumont, produced by Don Hunt, starring Paige O'Hara, Robbie Benson, Richard White, Jerry Orbach, David Alcasayers, Angela Lansbury, Rex Everhart, and Jesse Cordle, edited by John Chan, and music by Alan Menken. Production companies are Walt Disney Pictures, Walt Disney Feature Animation, and Silver Screen Partners 4. Distributed by Buena Vista Pictures Distribution. Released since February 1971, New York Film Festival, NYFF, unfinished. And in November 23rd, 1971, in the United States, for the rest of the United States, as a finished film, as a completed film. Alright, running time, 84 minutes. Country, United States, language, English. Budget is $25 million, at the box office, $440.1 million. Whoa! That's why it's become a worldwide phenomenon. Beauty and the Beast has become a successful hit. And that's why you can't underestimate the power of Beauty and the Beast. Alright, let's get into the plot of the film. Enchanted Enchantress, disguised as a beggar woman, offers a rose to a cruel and selfish prince in exchange for shelter from a storm. When he rejects, she reveals her identity, and for the prince's arrogance, she transforms him into a beast and his servants into household objects. She casts a spell on the rose and warns the prince that the spell will be broken if he learns to love another and be loved in return before the last spell falls. Otherwise, he will remain a beast for life. Oh boy. Oh no. Years later, in a nearby village, Belle, the book-loving daughter of an adventurer named Maurice, dreams of adventure. She frequently tries to avoiding Gaston, a narcissistic hunter who wants to marry her because of her beauty. On his way to a fair to showcase his latest invention, an automatic woodchopper, Maurice gets lost in the forest and seeks refuge in the beast's castle. But the beast imprisons him for trespassing. When Maurice's horse returns without him, Belle ventures out searching for him and finds him locked in the castle dungeon. The beast agrees to free Maurice if she takes his place as prisoner. Belle befriends the castle's servants, Lumiere, the candelabra, Coxworth, the clock, Mrs. Potts, the teapot, and her son Chip, the teacup. They serve her dinner through song. When she wanders into the Forbidden West Wing and finds the rose, the beast catches her and, in a violent rage, sends her fleeing from the castle. In the woods, she is ambushed by a pack of wolves, but the beast rescues her and is injured in the process. As Belle nurses his injuries, a spark develops between them, as time passes, they begin to fall in love. Meanwhile, Maurice returns to the village and fails to convince the townsfolk of Belle's predicament. Hearing Maurice's statements about the beast, Gaston hatches a plan to blackmail Belle to marry him. He bribes Monsieur Diac, the warden of the town's insane asylum, to have Maurice locked up as a lunatic before they can act. However, Maurice leaves for the castle to attempt a rescue alone. After sharing a romantic dance with the beast, Belle uses the beast's magic mirror to check on her father and sees him collapsing in the woods. The beast releases her to save Maurice, giving her the mirror as a souvenir. As Belle takes her father to the village, a band of villagers led by Gaston arrives to detain Maurice. Belle uses the mirror to show the beast to the townsfolk, proving her father's sanity. Realizing that Belle loves the beast, a jealous Gaston has her and her father locked up in the basement and rallies the villagers to follow him to the castle and slay the beast. With the help of Chip, who arrived at their house as a stowaway, and Maurice's wood chopping machine, Maurice and Belle escape and rush back to the castle. During The battle. The beast's servants fend off the villagers. Gaston attacks the beast in his tower, who is too depressed from Belle's departure to fight back, but regains his spirit upon seeing her return. He defeats Gaston, but spares his life before reuniting with Belle. However, Gaston fatally stabs the beast with a knife, but he loses his balance and falls to death. Falls to his death. Speaking together with some crosstalk, Gary Trousdale, Kirk Wise, Don Hahn, and Alan Menken confirmed on the audio commentary that Gaston died after he fell onto the roofs, off the rooftops. So yeah, that's a note here. Keep that in mind. Put your right note down. The beast dies in Belle's arms before the last petal falls. Belle tearfully professes her love to the beast, and the spell is undone, reviving the beast and restoring him to his human form, along with all his servants at his castle. The prince and Belle host a ball for the kingdom, where they dance happily. Alright, that's it. That's the end. Alright. And that's the plot of the film. Let's take a look at the voice cast, and boy, it's gonna be a long one, ladies and gentlemen. This voice cast is long, so here we go again, guys. Here I go. Paige O'Hara as Belle, a bibliophilic young woman who seeks adventure and offers her own freedom to the beast in return for her father's. In an effort to enhance the character from the original story, the filmmakers felt that Belle should be unaware of her own beauty and made her a little odd. Wise recalls casting O'Hara because of a unique tone. She had a little bit of Judy Garland, after whose appearance Belle was modeled. James Baxter and Mark Henn served as the supervising animators for Belle. Okay, that's good. Robbie Benson as the Beast, a young prince who was transformed into a talking beast by an enchantress as punishment for his arrogance and selfishness. The animators drew him with the head structure and horns of an American bison. Okay. The arms and body of a bear, the eyebrows of a gorilla, the jaws, the teeth, and mane of a lion, the tusks of a wild boar, and the lower body of a wolf. Oh boy. Chris Sanders, one of the film's storyboarders and visual development artists, drafted the designs for the beast and came up with designs based on birds, insects, and fish before coming up with something close to the final design. Glenn Keane, supervising animator for the beast, refined the design by going to the zoo and studying the animals on which the beast was based. Benson commented, "There's rage and torment in this character. I've never been asked to use before." The filmmakers commented that everything was big, fee, fi, fo, fum, and gravelly, while Benson had the big voice and the warm, accessible side, so that you could hear the prince beneath the fur. Okay, that's good. Okay, that's good. Hello, Richard White as Gaston, a veil hunter who vies for Belle's hand in marriage and is determined not to let anyone else win her heart. He serves as a foil personality to the beast, who was once egotistical as Gaston prior to his transformation. Gaston's supervising animator, Andreas Deja, was pressed by Jeffrey Katzenberg to make Gaston handsome in contrast to the traditional appearance of a Disney villain, and an assignment he found difficult at first. In the beginning, Gaston is depicted as more of a narcissist than a villain, but later he threatens to put Maurice in a mental institution if Belle doesn't marry him, and eventually leads all the villagers to kill the beast, enraged that Belle would love a beast more than him. Okay, I love it. I know. Jerry Orbach as Lumiere, the kind-hearted but rebellious French accented the Montier du of the Beast's castle, who had been transformed into a candelabra. He has a habit of disobeying his master's strict rules, sometimes causing tension between them, but the Beast often turns to him for advice. He is depicted as flirtatious, as he is frequently seen with the feather duster and immediately takes a liking to Belle. A running gag throughout the film is Lumiere burning Cogsworth. Nick Renier research as he supervised animator for Lumiere. I know this is gonna be very intense here. I know. David Lancashire as Cogsworth, the Beast's major domo, the head butler of the household staff, and Lumiere's best friend, who has been turned into a pendulum clock. He is extremely loyal to the Beast, so as to save himself and anyone else in any trouble. Any trouble, often leading to friction between himself and Lumiere. Will Finn served as the supervising animator for Cogsworth. He also narrates the prologue. This is good. I love Angela Lansbury as Mrs. Potts, the castle cook turned into a teapot who takes a motherly attitude towards Belle. The filmmakers went through several names for Mrs. Potts, such as Mrs. Chamomile. Oh boy. Before Ashman suggested the use of simple and concise names for the household objects, David Prixma served as the supervising animator for Mrs. Potts. Bradley Pierce as Chips, Mrs. Potts' son, who has been transformed into a teacup. Originally intended to only have one line, filmmakers were impressed with Pierce's performance and expanded the character's role significantly, as showing a music box character. Prixma also served as the supervising animator for Chip. So that's something I love it. Rex Everhart as Maurice, the Belle's inventor father. The villagers see him as insane for crafting devices believed impossible to construct in reality, but his loyal daughter believes he will be famous one day. Ruben A. Aquino served as the supervising animator for Maurice. Jesse Cordell as LeFou. LeFou, Gaston's often abused yet loyal sidekick. He looks up to Gaston and his hero and sings a song with the other villains to cheer him up. His name is French for the madman, and also a phonetic play on the fool. Chris Wall serves as the supervising animator for Le Fou. Joanne Worley as the wardrobe, the castle's authority over fashion, and a former opera singer who has been turned into a wardrobe. The character of the wardrobe was introduced by visual development artist Sue C. Nichols to the then entirely male cast of servants, and it was originally a more integral character named Madame Amboise. Wardrobe is known as Madame de la Grande Bouche, or Madame Big Mouth, in the stage adaptation of the film. It is the only major enchanted object of the character whose human form does not appear in the film. Tony Anselmo served as the supervising animator for the wardrobe. And, by the way, Tony is the current voice of Donald Duck. You know it, Donald Duck, my friends! I know. I love it. Hal Smith as Philippe, Belle's Belgian horse. Bruce Edmonds served as the supervising animator for Philippe. Mary Kay Bergman and Keith Sorsey as the Bimbets, a trio of village maidens who constantly fawn over Gaston, known as the Silly Girls in the stage adaptation. Silly Girls. You know about that. I love it. Jack Angel, Phil Proctor, Bill Farmer, and Patrick Pinney as Tom, Dick, Stanley, and Walter, respectively. Gaston LeFou's Circle of Friends. And you know Bill Farmer, he is the current voice of Goofy! Yeah, current voice of Goofy, my friends. Man, I love it. Alright, Brian Cummings as the stove. The castle's chef who has been transformed into a stove. He is named Chef Bouche in 1998's Belle's Magical World. Ooh, right. This is good. I know. Alvin Epstein as the bookseller, the owner of a bookstore in Bell's Village. Tony J as Monsieur de Jacques, the sadistic warden of the Asylum de Loons. Gaston bribes him to help in his plans to blackmail Belle. Alec Murphy as the baker, the owner of a bakery in Bell's Village. Kemi Robertson as the feather duster, a maid and Lumiere's sweetheart, who has been turned into a feather duster. She is never mentioned by name in the 1981 film, listed as feather duster in the credits. Babette is the name given to this character later in the 1994 stage adaptation of the film. In Fifi in the 1988 animated musical film Belle's Magical World, and Plummet in the 2017 live-action remake. And finally, we have Frank Welcher as Sultan, the castle's pet dog turned into a footstool. Whew, that's the voice cast, my friend. Man, I need to take a short break. Alright, I'm back! That was a quick break. Alright, back to work. Let's move on to production, starting with early versions. After the success of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, Walt Disney sought out other stories to adapt into feature films, with Beauty and the Beast being among the stories he considered. Attempts to develop Beauty and the Beast story develop the Beauty and the Beast story into a film were made in the 1930s and 50s, but were ultimately given up because it proved to be a challenge. For the story team, Peter M. Nichols states Disney may later have been discouraged by John Cocteau, having already done his 1946 version. Decades later, during the production of Who Framed Roger Rabbit in 1987, the Disney studio resurrected Beauty and the Beast as a project for the satellite animation studio it has set up in London, England, to work on Roger Rabbit. Richard Williams, who had directed the animated portions of Roger Rabbit, was approached to direct, but declined in favor of continuing work on his long, gestating project, The Thief and the Cobbler. Yeah, under the Miramax. So yeah, I know. In his place, Williams recommended his colleague, English animation director Richard Purdom, and work began under producer Don Hahn on a non-musical version of Beauty and the Beast set in 19th century France. At the behest of Disney CEO Michael Eisner, Beauty and the Beast became the first Disney animated film to use a screenwriter. This was an unusual move for the animated film, which is traditionally developed on storyboards rather than in a scripted form. Little Wolverton wrote the original draft of the story before the storyboarding began, and worked with the story team to retool and develop the film. Now you know. We want script rewrite and musicalization. Upon seeing the initial storyboard reels in 1989, Walt Disney Studios chairman Jeffrey Katzenberg was dissatisfied with Purdum's idea and ordered that the film be scrapped and started over from scratch. A few months after starting anew, Purdum was resigned as director. The studio had approached John Musker and Ron Clements to direct the film, but they turned down the offer, saying they were retired after just having finished directing Disney's recent success, The Little Mermaid. Katzenberg then hired first-time feature directors Kirk Wise and Gary Trousdale. Wise and Trousdale have previously directed the animated sections of Cranium Command, a short film for a Disney Epcot theme park attraction. In addition, wanting another musical film, Katzenberg asked songwriters Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, who had written the song score for The Little Mermaid, to turn Beauty and the Beast into a Broadway-style musical film in the same vein as Mermaid. Yeah, The Little Mermaid. Ashman, who at the time had learned he was dying of complications from AIDS, had been working with Disney on a pet project of his, Aladdin, which I'll talk about in the next episode, so stay tuned, and only reluctantly agreed to join the struggling production team. To accommodate Ashman's failing health, pre-production of Beauty and the Beast was moved from London to the Residence Inn in Fishkill, New York, close to Ashman's New York City home. Here, Ashman and Menken joined Wise, Trousdale, Hahn, and Wolverton in retooling the film's script. It says home. Yeah, look at that. I know. Since the original script had only two major characters, the filmmakers enhanced them, added new characters in the form of enchanted household items who add warmth and comedy to a gloomy story, and guide the audience through the film, and add a real villain in the form of Gaston. These ideas were somewhat similar to elements of the 1946 French film version of Beauty and the Beast, which introduced the character of Avenant, an elfish suitor somewhat similar to Gaston, as well as animated objects coming to life in the Beast's castle. The animated objects were, however, given distinct personalities in the Disney version, where in 1990, Katzenberg had approved the revised script and storyboarding began again. The production flew story artists back and forth between California and New York for storyboard approvals from Ashman, though the team was not told the reason why. Oh boy. Let's move on to casting and recording. Disney had originally considered casting Jodie Benson from The Little Mermaid as Belle. And if you haven't seen The Little Mermaid, again, go check out episode 28. Watch it after you're done watching this video. They eventually decided upon Broadway actress and singer Paige O'Hara in favor of having a heroine who sounded more like a woman than a girl. According to co-director Kirk Wise, O'Hara was given the role because she had a unique quality. She had a unique quality, a tone she would hit that made her special, reminiscent to that of American actress and singer Judy Garland. O'Hara, who after reading about the film in the New York Times, competed for the role against 500 hopefuls, believes the fact that lyricist Howard Ashman admired her cast recording of the musical Showboat proved integral in her being cast. Lawrence Fishburne, Val Kilmer, and Mandy Patinkin were originally considered to voice the Beast. The role was eventually given to actor Robbie Benson. John Cleese was originally intended to voice Cogsworth, but later it turned it down to voice Cat R. Wall in the Universal Pictures animated film An American Tale, Fievel Goes West. The role was eventually given to David Ogden Stiers. Judy Andrews was originally going to be considered to voice Mrs. Potts. The role was eventually given to Angela Lansbury. I know. Moving on to animation. Production of Beauty and the Beast was to be completed on a compressed timeline of 2 years rather than the traditional 4-year Disney feature animation production schedule. This was due to the loss of production time spent developing the earlier Purdom version of the film. Oh boy. Most of the production was done at the main feature animation studio, housed in the Airwave facility in Glendale, California. A smaller team at the Disney MGM Studios theme park in Lake Buena Vista, Florida, assisted the California team on several scenes, particularly the BR guest number. By the way, it's now called Disney's Hollywood Studios. No one knows that. It's at Walt Disney World, so keep that in mind. Beauty and the Beast was the second film after The Rescue Down Under, produced using CAPS or computer animation production system, a digital scanning ink paint compositing system of software and hardware developed for Disney by Pixar. And I'll have a movie history series of Pixar coming soon. Please keep your eyes peeled for it. The software allowed for a wider range of colors, as well as soft shading and color light effects for the characters. Techniques lost when the Disney studio abandoned hand inking for geography in the early 1960s. CAP/ink paint also allowed the production crew to simulate multiplane effects, placing characters and or backgrounds on separate layers and moving them towards or away from the camera on the Z-axis to give the illusion of depth, as well as altering the focus of each layer. In addition, CAPS or ink paint allowed an easier combination of hand-drawn art with computer-generated imagery, which before had to be plotted to the animation paper and then Xeroxed and painted traditionally. This technique was put to significant use during Beauty and the Beast Walt sequence, in which Belle and Beast, dance through a computer-generated ballroom as the camera dollies around them in simulated 3D space. The filmmakers had originally decided against the use of computers in favor of traditional animation, but later, when the technology had improved, decided it could be used for the one scene in the ballroom. Before that, CGI renders had first been printed out as wireframe, but this was the first time Disney made use of 3D rendering. The success of the ballroom sequence helped convince studio executives to further invest in computer animation. The technology hardware that was used for the CGI was SGI, and the software that was used in Pixar's is Pixar's rendering. And I'll talk about Pixar on a separate movie history video, on a separate movie history series, so keep your eyes peeled for it. The final dance between Belle and the Prince was reused for the final dance sequence between Princess Aurora and Prince Philip from the 1959 film Sleeping Beauty. And if you want to go check out Sleeping Beauty, definitely go do so. Sleeping Beauty was on episode 16, so go watch it if you didn't watch this video. According to Trousdale, this was done because production of the film was nearing the deadline, and this was the easiest way to do that sequence. I know. Alright, closing out production with music. This should be pretty fun. Ashman and Menken wrote the Beauty score during the pre-production process in Fishkill, the opening up operetta-style Belle being their first composition for the film. Other songs included Be Our Guest, sung in its original version to Maurice by the objects when he becomes the first visitor to eat at the castle in a decade. Gaston, a solo for the swaggering villain, his bubbly psychic. Human Again, a song describing Belle and the Beasts, growing love from the object's perspective. Belle and Beasts, growing love. The love ballad, Beauty and the Beast, tale as old as time. And the climactic The Bob Song. As story and song development came to a close, full production began in Burbank, and while voice and song recording began in New York City. The Beauty songs were most likely recorded live with the orchestra and the voice cast performing simultaneously rather than overdubbed separately, in order to give the songs a cast album-like energy the filmmakers and songwriters desired. Oh boy, I love it. During the course of production, many changes were made to the structure of the film, necessitating the replacement and repurposing the songs. After screening a mostly animated version of the Be Our Guest sequence, story artist Bruce Woodside suggested that the objects should be singing to the song to Belle. Rather than her father. Wyatt and Charlesdale agreed, and the sequence and song were retooled to replace Maurice with Belle. The film's title song went through a noted bit of uncertainty during production. Originally conceived as a rock-oriented song, it was changed to a slow romantic ballad. Howard Ashman and Alan Menken asked Angela Lansbury to perform the song, but she did not think her voice was suited for the melody. When she voiced her doubts, Menken and Ashman asked her for at least one take and told her to perform the song as she saw fit. Lansbury reportedly reduced everyone in the studio to tears with her rendition, nailing the song in the one take asked of her. This version went on to win the Oscar for Best Original Song. Human Again was dropped from the film before animation began, as its lyrics caused story problems about the timeline over which the story takes place. This required Ashman and Menken to write a new song in its place, Something There, in which Belle and Beast, or should I say the Beast, sing via voiceover of their growing fondness for each other. Was composed in late production and inserted into the script in place of Human Again. Menken would later revise Human Again for its inclusion in the 1994 Broadway stage of Beauty and the Beast. Another revised version of the song was added to the film itself in a new sequence created for the film's special edition re-release in 2002. Ashman died of AIDS-related complications at the age of 40 on March 14, 1991, 8 months before the film's release. He never saw the finished film, though he did get to see it in its unfinished format. Ashman's work on Aladdin was completed by another lyricist, Tim Rice. And yes, I'll talk about Aladdin again in the next episode, so stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled for it coming soon. Before Ashman's death, members of the film's production team visited him after the film's well-received first screening, with Don Hahn commenting that the film would be a great success. Who had thought of it? To which Ashman replied with, I would. A tribute to the lyricist was included at the end of the credits crawl. A tribute to the lyricist was included at the end of the credits crawl. To our friend, Howard, who gave a mermaid her voice and a beast his soul. We will be forever grateful. Howard Ashman, 1950 to 1991. A pop version of the Beauty and the Beast theme performed by Celine Dion and Peebo Bryson over the end credits was released as a commercial single for the film's soundtrack, supported with a music video. The Dion/Bryson version of Beauty and the Beast became an international pop hit and performed considerably well on charts around the world. The song became Dion's second single and to land within the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 9. The song peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot Adult Contemporary chart. In Canada, Beauty and the Beast peaked at number 2. Outside of North America, the song peaked within the top 10 in New Zealand and the United Kingdom, while peaking within 20 within the top 20 in Australia, Netherlands, and Ireland. Yeah, the Netherlands and Ireland. The song sold over 1 million copies worldwide. This version of the song was also nominated for Record of the Year and Song of the Year at the Grammys, and they won the Grammy for Dion and Bryson for Best Pop Duo/Group Vocal Performance. Whew, nothing else to worry about here. But yeah, that's it for production. Let's move on to the release, starting with Work in Progress and Original Theatrical Run. A first-time accomplishment for the Walt Disney Company, an unfinished version of Beauty and the Beast was shown at the New York Film Festival on September 28, 1971. The film was deemed a work in progress because roughly only 70% of the animation had been completed. Storyboards and pencil tests were used in replacement of the remaining 30%. Additionally, certain segments of the film had already been finished were reverted to previous stages of completion. At the end of the screening, Beauty and the Beast received a 10-minute-long standing ovation from the film festival audience. The completed film was also screened at a completion at the 1992 Cannes Film Festival. Yeah, Cannes. The finished film premiered at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood on November 13, 1991, beginning a limited release before expanding wide on November 22nd. Whew, that's good. Moving on to reissues. The film was restored and remastered for its New Year's Day 2002 re-release in IMAX theaters in a special edition edit, including a new musical sequence. For this version of the film, most of the animation was cleaned up. A new sequence was set to the deleted song "Human Again" was inserted into the film's second act, and a new digital master from the original Caps production files was used to make a high-resolution IMAX film negative. A single-long edition of the film, hosted by Jordan Sparks, was released in select theaters on September 29th and October 2nd, 2010. Prior to the showing of the film, Sparks showed an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the newly restored film and the making of her new Beauty and the Beast music video. There was also commentary from producer Don Hahn, interviews with the cast, and an inside look at how the animation was created. A Disney Digital 3D version of the film, the second of a traditionally animated film, was originally scheduled to be released in U.S. theaters on February 12, 2010, but the project was postponed. On August 25, 2011, Disney announced that the 3D version of the film would make its American debut at Hollywood's El Capitan Theater from September 2nd to the 15th, 2011. Disney spent less than $10 million on the 3D conversion. After the successful 3D re-release of The Lion King, Disney announced a wide 3D re-release of Beauty and the Beast in North America beginning January 13, 2012. And I'll talk about The Lion King on episode 32, so keep your eyes peeled for it coming soon. Closing out the release of home media. On October 38, 1992, in the United States and Canada, Walt Disney Home Video, or Walt Disney Studios Home Entertainment, released the film to VHS and Laserdisc as part of the Walt Disney Classic series, and later put it on moratorium on April 38, 1993. It was not included in the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection line. This version contains a minor edit to the film. The skulls that appear Gaston's pupils for 2 frames during his climactic fall to his death were removed from the original home video release. No such edit was made to later reissues of the film. The work in progress version screened at the New York Film Festival was also released on VHS and Laserdisc at the time. However, said version was the only one available on the latter format until the fall of 1993, when a completed theatrical version was released. This measure was to diminish the threat of video pirates making copies derived for the Laserdisc, which are not copy protected, and selling them in international markets where the film was yet to be available for home release. By October 1993, the VHS sold a record of 20 to 22 billion units. In 1993, the film was also released on home video in several countries, including the United Kingdom on September 20th of that year, and sold a record 8.5 billion units. Beauty and the Beast Special Edition, as the enhanced version of the film, released in IMAX/large format, was released on a THX certified Platinum Edition, 2-disc DVD and VHS on October 8, 2002. The DVD set features 3 versions of the film: the extended IMAX Special Edition with the Human Again sequence added, the original theatrical version, and the New York Film Festival work in progress version. This release went to Disney Vault moratorium status in January 2003, along with its direct-to-video follow-ups Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas, and Belle's Magical World. The special edition DVD was released on November 2nd, 2002 in the United Kingdom, while the other 50 international territories released on August 2002 as special limited edition. The film was released from the vaults on October 5th, 2010 as the second of Disney's Diamond Editions in the form of 3-disc Blu-ray, disc, and DVD combination pack. In the form of a 3-disc Blu-ray disc and DVD combination pack. The first release of Beauty and the Beast on home video in high definition format. This edition consists of 4 versions of the film: the original theatrical version, an extended version, the New York Film Festival storyboard-only version, and a 4th iteration displaying the storyboards via picture-in-picture alongside the original theatrical version. Upon its first week of release, the Blu-ray sold 1.1 million units, topping the Blu-ray sales chart and finishing in 3rd place on the combined Blu-ray and DVD sales chart for the week ending on October 10th, 2010. It was the second best-selling Blu-ray of 2010, behind Avatar. A 2-disc DVD edition was released on November 23rd, 2010. A 5-disc combo pack featuring the Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray 2D, and DVD. Featuring Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray 2D, DVD, and a digital copy was released on October 4th, 2011. The 3D combo pack is identical to the original Diamond Edition, except for the added 3D disc and digital copy. The Blu-ray release went into the Disney vault along with the 2 sequels on April 30th, 2012. The 25th anniversary signature edition was released on digital HD on September 6, 2016, and was followed by Blu-ray/DVD combo pack on September 20th, 2016. Upon its first week of release on home media in the U.S., the film topped the Blu-ray sales chart and debuted at number 3 in the Nielsen Video Scan First Alert chart, which tracks overall disc sales, behind Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Out of the Channels, and Captain America: Civil War. The film was released on 4K digital download and Ultra HD on Blu-ray on March 10th, 2020. Whew, that's it for release. I need to take a break. I need a breather, my friends. Hang on tight, folks. I'll be back. I'm back again. Got your breather? Good. Alright, moving on. Let's go to the reception. Starting with box office. During its initial release in 1991, the film grossed $145.9 million in revenues in North America and $331.9 million worldwide. It ranked as the 3rd most successful film of 1991 in North America, surpassed by only the summer blockbusters Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. At the time Beauty and the Beast was the most successful animated Disney film release, the first animated film to reach $100 million in the United States and Canada in its initial run. In its IMAX release, it earned $25.5 million in North America and $5.5 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $31 million. It also earned $9.8 million for its 3D re-release overseas. During the opening weekend of its North American 3D re-release in 2012, Beauty and the Beast grossed $17.8 billion, coming in at the number 2 spot behind Contraband, and achieved the highest opening weekend for an animated film in January. The film was expected to make $17.5 million over the weekend. However, the results topped its forecast and the expectations of box office analysts. The re-release ended its run on May 3rd, 2012, and earned $47.6 million, which brought the film's gross in North America to $219 million, and made it estimated $206 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $425 million. It was the highest grossing film in Italy, surpassing the 39 billion lira grossed by Johnny Stecchino. Oh boy, there was a fly on the screen. Shoo away, fly! But yeah, moving on to critical response. It's a long one, guys. Brace yourself, people. This is gonna get longer than it's supposed to be. Upon its release, Beauty and the Beast received near universal acclaim from critics and audiences alike, and for its animation, screenplay, characters, musical score, musical numbers, and voice acting. Review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes gives the film an approval rate of 94% based on reviews from 118 critics, with an average rate of 8.50 out of 10. The website's critical consensus reads, enchanting, so sweepingly romantic, and featuring plenty of wonderful musical numbers, Beauty and the Beast is one of Disney's most elegant animated offerings. It's good. The film also holds a score of 95 out of 100 on Metacritic, which indicates the reviews as universal acclaim. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film a rare A- grade. Ooh, very rare A-. I know. That's good. Janet Maslin of the New York Times praised the film with the following statement. 2 years ago, Well, 2 years ago, Walt Disney Pictures reinvented the animated feature, not only with an eye towards pleasing children, but also with an older, savvier audience in mind. Disney truly bridged a generation gap with The Little Mermaid. Lightning has definitely struck twice with Beauty and the Beast, awarding the film a perfect score of 4 stars. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times compared Beauty and the Beast positively to Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and Pinocchio, writing, Beauty and the Beast reaches back to an older and healthier Hollywood tradition in which the best writers, musicians, and filmmakers are gathered for a project on the assumption that a family audience deserves great entertainment too. In 2001, Ebert again gave the IMAX re-release a full 4 out of 4 stars. James Berardinelli of Reviews rated the film similarly while hailing it as the finest animated movie ever made, writing Beauty and the Beast attains a nearly perfect mix of romance, music, invention, and animation. The use of computer animation, particularly in the ballroom sequence, was singled out in several reviews as one of the film's highlights. Hal Hinson of the Washington Post gave the film a positive review, calling the film delightfully satisfying modern fable, a near masterpiece that draws on the sublime traditions of the past while remaining completely in sync with the sensibility of its time. Jeanette Maslin of the New York Times gave the film a positive review, saying it's a surprise and it's a time of giggles and retreads, that the new film is so fresh and altogether triumphant in its own right. David Keller of the Chicago Tribune gave the film a 3 out of 4 stars, saying Beauty and the Beast is certainly adequate holiday entertainment for children and their more indulgent parents. But the film has little of the technical facility, vivid characterization, and emotional impact of Disney past. Now, Jay Boyar of the Atlanta Sentinel gave the film 4 out of 5 stars, saying it's not an especially scary movie, but right from the start, you can tell that this Beauty and the Beast has a beauty of a bite. John Hurdle of the Seattle Times gave the film 3.5 out of 4, 3.5 stars out of 4, saying it's exceptionally difficult to make an audience care for animated characters unless they're mermaids or anthropomorphized animals or insects. Yet the Disney animators, with a big assist from the vocal talents of a superb cast, have pulled it off. Gene Siskel, also the Chicago Tribune, gave the film 4 out of 4 stars, saying Beauty and the Beast is one of the year's most entertaining films for both adults and children. On their Beauty and the Beast edition of Siskel and Ebert, both Siskel and Roger Ebert proclaimed that the film is a legitimate contender for Oscars consideration as Best Picture of the Year. Michael Sirocco of the New Yorker gave the film a positive review, saying it's got storytelling, vigor, and clarity, bright eclectic animation, and a frisky musical wit. Eric Smoudin writes in his book Animating Culture that the studio was trying to make up for earlier gender stereotypes with this film. Smoudin also states that in the way it has been viewed as bringing together traditional fairy tales and the feminism as well as computer and traditional animation, the film's greatness could be proved in terms of technology, narrative, or even politics. Animation legend Chuck Jones praised the film in a 1992 guest appearance on Later with Bob Costas. He claimed he loved it. I think it should have won Best Picture. I think the animation on the Beast is one of the greatest pieces of animation I've seen. Animation historian Michael Barriere wrote that Belle becomes a sort of intellectual less by actually reading books, it seems, than by hanging out with them, but says that the film comes closer than other at Disney Studio films to accepting challenges of the kind that the finest Walt Disney features met. Dave Whitley writes in The Idea of Nature in Disney Animation that Belle is different from earlier Disney heroines in that she is mostly free from the burdens of domestic housework, although her role is somewhat undefined in the same way that contemporary culture now requires most adolescent girls to contribute little in the way of domestic work before they leave home and have to take on the multiple responsibilities of the working mother. Whitley also notes other themes and modern influences, such as the film's critical view of Gaston's the chauvinism and attitude towards nature, the cyborg-like servants, and the father's role as an inventor rather than a merchant. Jordan Peterson, a psychologist, said that Beauty and the Beast is the best Disney movie ever made. In part because it is a rare example of a female hero story. He claims that the civilizing of men is the female hero myth. Okay, Beauty and the Beast has been named one of Disney's most critically acclaimed films. In 2010, IGN named Beauty and the Beast as the greatest animated film of all time, directly ahead of WALL-E, The Incredibles, Toy Story 2, and The Iron Giant. WALL-E, The Incredibles, and Toy Story 2 are all by Pixar, while The Iron Giant is by Warner Brothers, so remember that. If you don't know IGN, imagine Games Network. Right? Good. Moving on. Most critics regarded the 1991 animated film as superior to the 2017 live-action remake. Michael Phillips of the Chicago Tribune stated that the 1991 film worked wonderfully because it was pure Broadway, ready for the screen, blending comedy and romance and magic, just enough snark in the margins. While the 2017 remake got lost in translation since the movie takes our knowledge and our interest in the material for granted. It zips from one number to another, throwing a ton of frenetically edited eye candy at the screen, charmlessly. Phillips also wrote of the 2017 film that too often we're watching highly qualified performers, plus a few less conspicuously talented ones, stuck doing karaoke, or motion capture of work of middling quality. Dana Schwartz of The Observer criticized some of the 2017 film changes to characters such as the Beast and Gaston as regressive by watering down their distinguishing personalities from the 1991 film, further arguing that the added backstory to the characters in the 2017 version failed to advance the plot or theme in any meaningful way. David Sims of The Atlantic wrote that the 2017 film feels particularly egregious. I don't know how to say it, that's okay. I don't know how to pronounce it. In part, because it's so slavishly devoted to the original. Every time it falls short of its predecessor, which is quite often, it's hard not to notice. That's a lot of information. Whoa! Woo! We made it through all of this. Let's move on to accolades. Moving on to accolades. Alan Menken and Howard Ashman's song Beauty and the Beast won the Academy Award for Best Original Song, while Menken's score won the award for Best Original Score. Two of the Menken and Ashman songs for the film Belle and Be Our Guest were also nominated for Best Original Song. Beauty and the Beast was the first picture to receive 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Original Song, a feat that would be repeated by The Lion King for 1994, Dreamgirls for 2006, and Enchanted for 2007. Academy rules have since been changed to limit each film to 2 nominations in this category, due to the consecutive unintentional failures of Dreamgirls and Enchanted to win the award. Only 2 nominations in the category. Oh no. So yeah, that's all. This film was also nominated for Best Picture and Best Sound. It was the first animated film to ever be nominated for Best Picture and remained the only animated film nominated until 2009, when the Best Picture field was widened to 10 nominees, and it remains the only animated film nominated for the award when it had 5 nominees. It became the first musical in 12 years to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture of the Year, following All That Jazz in 1979, and the last one to be nominated until Moulin Rouge since 2001. 10 years later, it lost the Best Picture award to The Silence of the Lambs. and the Best Sound Award to Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Yes, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, so remember that. With 6 nominations, the film currently shares the record for the most nominations for an anime film with Wall-E for 2008, which I'll talk about in a separate movie history video from a separate movie history series for Pixar, so stay tuned. Although with 3 nominations in the Best Original Song category, Beauty and the Beast's nominations span only 4 categories, while Wall-E's nominations cover 6 individual categories, and I'll talk about Wall-E coming soon. While The Little Mermaid was the first to be nominated, Beauty and the Beast became the first animated film to win the Golden Globe Award for Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy. This feat was later repeated by The Lion King and Toy Story 2. Again, The Lion King episode will be on episode 32 of the series, so keep your eyes peeled for Toy Story 2. Will be on a separate series, so stay tuned. Let's get into the list of awards and nominations. Start with award, date of ceremony, category, recipients and references, and the results. So for the Academy Award on March 8, 1992, it looks like this. Best Picture, Don Hahn, nominated. Best Original Score, Alan Menken, 1. Yes, 11. For Best Original Score, Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. Be Our Guest, nominated. Beauty and the Beast, 1. Bell, nominated. And for Best Sound, Terry Porter, Menken Metcalf, I don't know how to say, David J. Hudson, and Doc Kane, nominated. So that's all. For the Chicago Film Critics Association, for 1992, Best Picture, nominated. Oh no. This is good. For the Dallas Fort Worth Film Critics Association, for 1992, Best Film, 3rd place. That's something, I love it. So that's the thing about here. And for Best Animated Film, 1. Love it. Moving on to the Golden Globe Awards, January 18, 1992. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Don Hahn, 1. Best Original Score, Motion Picture, Alan Menken, 1. That's good. Best Original Song for Motion Picture, from both Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. For the song Be Our Guest, nominated. For the song Beauty and the Beast, 1. I love it. Moving on to the Grammy Awards, February 16th. February 18th, 1993. For Album of the Year, nominated. For Record of the Year, Celine Dion and Pablo Bryson. For the song Beauty and the Beast, nominated. Best Album for Children, 1. That's right. Best Pop Performance by a Group or Duo with Vocal, Celine Dion and Pablo Bryson. For Beauty and the Beast, 1. Song of the Year for Beauty and the Beast, nominated. And for the rest, Best Instrumental Composition written for a Motion Picture, Ella Hankerman. Best Song written specifically for a motion picture or for television, for Beauty and the Beast. For Best Pop Instrumental Performance for Beauty and the Beast, all 1. They have all 1, so that's my friends. Los Angeles Film Critics Association, December 14, 1991. Best Animated Film, Gary Charlesdale and Kirk Wise, 1. And finally, Producers Guild of America, March 4, 1992, Daryl F. Zedek Award for Outstanding Producer or of Theatrical Motion Picture, Don Hahn, nominated. So those are the accolades, my friends. Moving on, in 2002, Beauty and the Beast was added to the United States Film Registry as being deemed culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant. In 2008, the American Film Institute reveals its 10 top 10 lists of the best 10 films in 10 classic American film genres, based on polls of over 1,500 people from the creative community. Beauty and the Beast was acknowledged as the 7th best film in the animation genre. In previous lists, it ranked number 22 on the Institute's list of best musicals and number 34 on its list of the best romantic American films. On the list of the greatest songs from American films, Beauty and the Beast ranked number 62. Here's the list for the American Film Institute recognition. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, nominated. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Passions, number 34. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Heroes, Belle, nominated hero. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Songs, Beauty and the Beast, number 62. Be Our Guest, nominated. AFI's Greatest Movie Musicals, number 22. AFI's 100 Years, 100 Movies, 10th Anniversary Edition, nominated. And finally, AFI's 10 Top 10, number 7, Animated Film. That's good. Moving on to adaptations for Broadway musical. According to an article in the Houston Chronicle, the catalyst for Disney's braving the stage was an article by the New York Times theater critic Frank Rich praised Beauty and the Beast as 1991's best musical. Theater Under the Stars, or TUTS. Executive Director Frank Young had been trying to get Disney interested in a stage version of Beauty about the same time Eisner and Katzenberg were mulling over Rich's column, but Young couldn't seem to get in touch with the right person in the Disney empire. Nothing happened till the Disney execs started to pursue the project from their end. When they asked George Eves, the head of Actors Equity on the West Coast, which Los Angeles Theater would be the best venue for launching a new musical, Eves says that the best theater for that purpose would be TUTS. George Eves or George Ives? Yes, I'll say Ives. Yeah, Ives says that the best theater purpose would be TUTS. Not long after that, Disney's Don France and Bettina Buckley contacted Young, and the partnership was underway.
I just need your charger.
Oh yeah.
I just need to borrow your charger.
Borrow my charger? Why?
Keep going, go. Just let me do it. Alright.
Oh no.
Keep going.
Someone's interrupting me. I'll be back, folks. All right, I'm back. Sorry for the interruption, but someone needs to borrow my my laptop charger. But yeah, it's okay. Back to work, my friends. For the top, Ives says that the best theater for that purpose would be TUTS. Long after that, Disney's Don France and Bettina Buckley contacted Young, and the partnership was underway. A stage condensation of the film, directed by Robert Roth and choreographed by Matt West, both of whom moved on to the Broadway development, had already been presented at Disneyland at what was then called the Videopolis stage. Beauty and the Beast premiered in a joint production of Theater Under the Stars and Disney Theatricals at the Music Hall, Houston, Texas, from November 28, 1993 to December 26, 1993. On April 18, 1994, Beauty and the Beast premiered on Broadway at the Palace Theater in New York City to mixed reviews. The show transferred to the Lund Fontaine Theater on November 11, 1999. The commercial success of the show led to productions in the West End, Toronto, and all over the world. The Broadway version, which ran for over a decade, received a Tony Award and became the first of a whole line of Disney stage productions. The original Broadway cast included Terrence Mann as the Beast, Susan Egan as Belle, Burke Moses as Gaston, Gary Beach as Lumiere, Heath Lambert as Cosworth, Tom Mosley as Maurice, Beth Fowler as Mrs. Potts, and Stacey Logan as Babette, the Feather Duster. Many well-known actors and singers also starred in the Broadway production during his 13-year run, including Carrie Butler, Deborah Gibson, Tony Braxton, and Andrea Bocardo, Jimmy Siegler, Christy Carson-Morano, Ashley Brown, and Annalise Vanderpool as Belle, Chuck Wagner, James Barber, and Jeff McCarthy as the Beast, the Bishak Taylor, Patrick Page, Brian Batt, Jacob Young, and John Tartaglia as Lumiere, Mark Kudish, Christopher Sieber, and Donny Osmond as Gaston, Nick Jones, Harrison Chatta, and Drew Keenan Bulger as Chip. Yes, I guess that's right. And Chip. So the show ended its Broadway run on July 29th, 2007 after 46 previews and 5,461 performances. As in 2017, it is Broadway's 10th longest running show in history. Whew, that's a lot. Moving on to the closing out of that, just with live action film. In June 2014, Walt Disney Pictures announced that a live action adaptation of the original animated film was in the works, with Bill Condon directing and Evan Spiliotopoulos penning the screenplay. Condon originally planned on not only drawing inspiration from the animated film. Get out of here, fly! Get out of here, fly. Ugh. Get out! Moving out. Alright, for the top. Condon originally planned on not only drawing inspiration for the animated film, but also to include most, if not all, of the Macon/Rice songs from the Broadway musical, with the intention of making the film as a straightforward, live-action, large-budget movie musical. In September 2014, it was announced that Steven Chbosky would rewrite the script. In January 2015, Emma Watson announced via her Facebook page that she would portray Belle in the live-action film. In March 2015, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Emma Thompson, Josh Gad, Audra McDonald, and Kevin Kline joined the film as the Beast, Gaston, Mrs. Potts, LeFou, the Garderobe, and Maurice, respectively. The following month, Ian McKellen, Ewan McGregor, Stanley Tucci, and Gugu Mbatha Raw joined the cast as Cosworth, Lumiere, Cadenza, and Plumet, respectively. Composer Alan Menken returned to score the film's music with new material written by Menken and Tim Rice. In 2015, Menken said the film would not only include the songs that were written for the Broadway musical. The film would not include the songs that were written for the Broadway musical. The filming began on May 18, 2015 in London and in Surrey. Production officially ran in August 2015. The film was released on March 17, 2017. Whew, that's good. Let's move on to the merchandise. Beauty and the Beast merchandise covered a wide variety of products. Among them, storybook versions of the film story, a comic book based on the film published by Disney Comics, toys, children's costumes, and other products. In addition, the character of Belle has been integrated into the Disney Princess line of Disney's Consumer Products division and appears on merchandise related to that franchise. A 1995 live-action children's series entitled Send Me a Story with Belle began running in syndication, remaining on the air through 1999. Two direct-to-video follow-ups, which take place during the timeline depicted in the original film, were produced by Walt Disney Television Animation. Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas in 1997, and Belle's Magic World in 1998. In contrast to the universal acclaim of the original, receptions to the sequels were extremely negative. Disney on Ice produced an ice version of the movie that opened in 1982 in Lakeland, Florida. The show was such a huge commercial and critical success, touring around the world to sell out crowds, that a television special was made when it toured in Spain in 1984. The show ended its run in 2006 after 14 years. I know. Moving on to video games, a long one. Get ready, guys! Here we go. There are several video games that are loosely based on the film. The first video game based on the film was titled Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Quest, and it's an action platformer for the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis. Developed by Software Creations, the game was released in North America in 1983, and it is one of two video games based on the film that Sunsoft published for the Mega Drive / Genesis. The other being Beauty and the Beast, Roar of the Beast. Characters for the film, like Gaston, can help the player past tricky situations. As Belle, the player must reach the Beast's castle and break the spell to live happily ever after. To succeed, she must explore the village, forest, castle, and snowy forest to solve puzzles and mini-games while ducking or jumping over enemies. Belle's health is represented by a stack of blue books, which diminishes when she touches bats, rats, and other hats in the game. Extra lives, keys, and other items are hidden throughout the levels. While there is no continue or game saving ability, players can use the code to start the game at any of the seven levels. Oh boy. The second video game based on the film was titled Beauty and the Beast, Roar of the Beast, as a side-scrolling video game for the Genesis. Mega Drive / Genesis. As the Beast, the player must successfully complete several levels based on scenes from the film in order to protect the castle from invading villagers and forest animals and rescue Belle from Gaston. The third and fourth video games based on the film are action platforms developed by Probe Software and published by Hudson Soft. One, titled Beauty and the Beast, was released in Europe in 1984 for the NES. That's right, Nintendo Entertainment System. While the other, Disney's Beauty and the Beast, was released in North America in July 1984 and Europe on February 23, 1985 for the SNES, Super Nintendo Entertainment System. No, the entire games are played through the perspective of the Beast. As the Beast, the player must get Belle to fall in love so that the curse can cast upon him and his castle will be broken. The final boss of the game is Gaston. The Beast can walk, jump, swipe, stop, super stop, and roar, and the last of which is used to both damage enemies and reveal hidden objects. The fifth video game based on the film was titled Disney's Beauty and the Beast, a board game adventure, as a Disney board game adventure for the Game Boy Color. It was released on October 25, 1999. The video game series Kingdom Hearts features a world based on the film named Beast's Castle, along with several of the film's characters. In the first game, the world has been destroyed and Belle kidnapped by the Heartless, led by Maleficent. But the Beast travels to Maleficent's stronghold and works with Sora to defeat Maleficent and rescue Belle and the other captured princesses. In Kingdom Hearts 2, the world has since been restored following Ansem's defeat, but the Beast and Belle are having difficulties due to the enigmatic exultant of Organization 13 attempting to break out the Beast's darker side in order to turn him into a heartless and a nobody. But the Beast eventually comes to his senses and works with Sora once again to defeat Aladdin once and for all. In the game's ending credits, the Beast turns back into the Prince. In Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2, the world is featured as a playable level, but the story is not essential to the main pilot plot. In Kingdom Hearts X, I don't know what that means, the world is featured again, this time as a hallucination that follows the plot of the movie more closely. The characters featured in the series are the Beast, Belle, Lumiere, Gaston, Cogsworth, Mrs. Potts, Chip, Maurice, and the wardrobe. Oh no, I forgot to put in the acute in the first letter E in Lumiere. But that's okay. We on. After Gaston is defeated, the Beast transforms back into the Prince. Gaston does not appear in Kingdom Hearts 2, the world's primary antagonist being Aladdin, an original character created for the series, but who shares several traits with Forte, the main antagonist of Beauty and the Beast, the Enchanted Christmas. Oh boy, this is not gonna be good. Move on to sequels. The success of the first film spawned 3 direct-to-video sequels: Beauty and the Beast, the Enchanted Christmas, 1997, Beauty and the Beast, Belle's Magical World in 1998, and Belle's Tales of Friendship in 1999, all of which take place in the timeline of the original. This was followed by a spin-off television series, Save Me a Story with Bells. That's all. And finally, the theme park attraction. A dark ride based on the film Enchanted Tale of Beauty and the Beast, opened at Tokyo Disneyland in 2020. So yeah, that's it, my friends, and that is the end of Beauty and the Beast. Yay! Final answer rating for this movie. Man, we took a long time, more than an hour to get this done. Whew, yeah, it took more than an hour to get the job done, but we finally got through. So, what I think about this movie was abysmal, 2 is terrible, 3 is awful, 4 is bad, 5 is meh, 6 is okay, 7 is good, 8 is great, 9 is amazing, and 10 is perfect. I gotta say, definitely one of the best, one of the most iconic movies of all time, and therefore, in its 25th anniversary edition, Beauty and the Beast is definitely one of the best. I could have said any better about this, but yes, Beauty and the Beast killed it hardcore. I really love it so much. And so that's on Scale 1 I'm going to give Beauty and the Beast a perfect score of 10 out of 10. Perfect! Yay! Alright, I'm finally doing it, my friends. Yay! Another successful run for Beauty and the Beast. Yay! That's how it's done. Well, what a finish, my friends. What a finish. You go, my friends. That's a tale. That's the only tale that's at all its time. And we can finally glad to say this definitely is a tale that's as old as time. It's just my personal opinion. You can feel free to agree or disagree in the comment section below. That being said, that's it. It's all for thank you for watching this episode of Movie History Walt Disney Animation Studios. Yay! Oh my gosh. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode focusing on Beauty and the Beast. And we'll see you real soon with a new episode. But stick around for another Movie History episode coming soon. Coming later today as is the series premiere of Movie History DreamWorks Animation. The first episode will be by Ant, so please stay tuned. Followed by Moshi Monster by V, where we'll be about Molina, the Woman to Wonder, and Celebrity Supremacy, where My Sweet Piano takes on the Strawberry Cane. So don't forget, guys, and don't forget, tomorrow we have day 11 of Bustle Daily Diary Season 1 in the Moshi Sleep Mindfulness app, where it will be Peppy's Popsicle. Be on the lookout for that as well. And on Saturday, we have a new episode of Rob G 0407 Local History Result, where we'll be taking a look at ABC, the American Broadcasting Company, straight from the United States. So be on the lookout for that as well. A new episode of Local History 2 is coming soon, as I'll be about Masa, Fat Mojo, Space Jam, New Legacy, TVOK, KDO TV, and KRGV TV. So be on the lookout for that as well. And also, don't forget about new seasons of Local History Moshi, and the Moshi Master League starting up very, very soon. The first episode of Local History Season 6 will be about Pet Boys. So don't miss it, guys. It's gonna be amazing. And also, don't forget to come back on Wednesday for another new Moshi Wednesday by premiere. So this should be pretty good. With all that said, thank you all for watching today. I'm your guys, Ubisoft. See you next time on Movie History, Walt Disney Animation Studios. Join me again real soon for episode 31. We'll be taking a look at Aladdin. Oh boy, gosh. Aladdin is going to be on the next episode. Imagine if you have 3 wishes, 3 hopes, 3 dreams, and they can all come true. Walt Disney Pictures presents Aladdin, distributed by Buena Vista Pictures Distribution Incorporated. I can't believe it, guys. Aladdin's coming up on the next episode, so get ready, guys. It's going to be amazing. So don't miss it. Until then, you want to catch up on past episodes? We got a playlist for you from Snow White and Seven Dwarfs all the way up to the Beauty and the Beast, which took more than an hour to get done. But yes, go watch right now. The link to the playlist is up there at the top right corner screen. So you have the time. Definitely go do so. Highly recommend go check it out. For now, though, we must end this right here. So with that said, thanks for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share this video with your friends. Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also, turn on notifications to miss this video. Please turn on notifications to watch a new video from me, as we're on the road to 1,600 subscribers. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the premiere of Movie History DreamWorks Animation coming out later today. I'm Gus Henches. signing off. Have a great rest of your day, and remember, this tale would never be as old as time. For Walt Disney Animation Studios, like, favorite, subscribe. I'm Sanchez, and I'll see you in another video. Laters!